Right, boys and girls, welcome to the ANYTAPELADS podcast, the scholarship stories. Joining us today, we've got three Grandview legends, Ross Galbraith, Brian Lee and Craig Hughes. Between them, I think they won 3 conference titles each. Is that right? 3 conference titles each, lads, aye?
Yes.
That sounds about right, aye.
Aye, I was going to put it down 4, but I had to check these all on our own, just to make sure. Don't want anybody coming back with that. Obviously, all your personal accolades, like team of the years and stuff like that as well. Ross get the NIA, was it the scholar student or something like that? Where you got, mate, in 2015?
I think it's just for hitting a certain GPA or something.
Aye, but it shows the kind of level that boys like me who are Scottish get there fucking about and you're actually getting awarded for stuff like that, mate. Do you know what I mean? So the difference there, mate. How's all keeping me COVID anyway? You doing all right?
Aye.
Not too
Aye,
bad.
just hanging in there.
Aye.
Just keeping busy.
Bill, how you doing? How you doing? You're my main man for Glasgow Wellington. You keeping fit, aye?
Fine.
Aye.
Sure.
Kelton, the first team talked to, I was like, right, boys, Brian Lee, best player and all that, right? And then he just felt to me, what the fuck you talking about? Honestly, who's this cunt, man? Ross, how you feeling, mate? Wedding coming up and all that. How you feeling? Nervous? Cold feet?
I'm not that bothered. I think she's panicking because the numbers and that, eh? She's got a big, massive wedding planned, and it's. I don't even think you load them now unless you're on your deathbed. So. It doesn't bother me too much, mate. It's about them, isn't it? It's not about me.
Like he says, it's saving money and all that, less people.
Well, that's it.
Craig, how you doing, mate? You're still playing, eh, Craig?
Well, wasn't until yesterday.
You get 3 weeks off now.
The rules changed, so 3 weeks off. So hopefully it's only 3, but it's been good to get games in. It's been decent. I don't know why we've been playing in no amateurs because it's exact same, to be honest with you. So, but they can't complain, to be honest. We've been able to get a few games in. It's been decent. So hopefully it's only 3 weeks.
Aye. How's the wee? Good Christmas with her?
Brilliant, mate. She's at age now. She gets it all, so she's been buzzing about it. So she's already asking about when Santa coming again. So
brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Hey, boys, get straight to it. Straight into it. Ross, we'll start off for you, mate, since you're the furthest away from Dunfermline. What was your background in football? Really, obviously, you grew up as Dunfermline. You stay into it now.
Aye, yep.
What kind of boys' clubs were you playing with? How did you get all the way through up to the stage where you're going to America? So, were you pro youth at any? You were pro youth as well at one point.
Aye, I just played with local teams till I was about 11, and then I signed with Cowdenbeath.
All right.
I think they had just set up their youth setup or something. Came with lower leagues, they didn't tend to have massive youth setups on the teams.
Aye.
But there, I played with them up until, let me think. I think it was about 16. I signed a schoolboy form with them.
All right.
And then they must have got some sort of funding for the SFA because they signed about 16 hours full time.
What? Full time, Cowdenbeath?
Aye, that's what we were all saying when they asked us.
We getting a wage off him.
Aye, well, if you could call it a wage, save up your wage, you'd be lucky if you could pay us at the end of the week, and that's not a joke. But
aye.
So I done that for a year, but as you can imagine, a team like Cowdenbeath, it's not really set up for full-time players.
Aye.
Just the way it is. So I mean, we were training during the day one day, and then the same day they're saying, "Oh, can you train at night as well?" Because the first team's coming in. It was a bit of a mess, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
For there, I was full time for about a year and a half there, and then got released with Cowdenbeath and went and signed and just played juniors, bounced about a couple of teams locally before I started the scholarship process.
Aye, that's what usually happens to boys because they kind of get left in limbo after they leave their kind of pro youth team and all that. It's kind of next now. I think that's always the kind of option for them. Bell, about yourself, mate. Bellston boy.
Aye, similar kind of story. Pro youth, bouncing about different teams until about 17. I was at Airdrie at that point.
Aye.
And I actually chucked football for a year before I went out to America.
Did you? Aye.
I was at Airdrie. I chucked football when I was 17. But then it just at that stage where it was kind of more interested in different things and that at that point.
It's the exactly. Aye.
So,
But it's that kind of motivational thing, into like you say, you get to that kind of age where you're kind of last year 19s, whatever it is, then you're not really get that pathway going to the first team. You're looking for that kind of next step, and like you say, if there's no motivation, there's nothing to kick you on to maybe push yourself. If you're getting told at that age, no. If you're like maybe the respect to teams at that level, if you're not going to get a game for Airdries or County Beefs, Mackay Dumbarton, you're like, fuck man, what chance have I got? Do you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of
realistic, eh?
That's the kind of I was. Craig, would be yourself, mate.
Fairly similar story to the boys. Was nothing really a note, and then towards kind of was 18, 19, 20 was kind of starting into the juniors and with Rob Roy mainly playing with their 21s to be honest. And, but then I was at a similar stage as the boys. I knew I wasn't really going to make it as a player, and if at that stage, and if you do make it, it's it's the lower levels. Do you know what I mean? It's not really what you're going to make a life out of it, and so really just kind of was at that stage similar to you boys where I was keen on the football, and wanted something that would take it a wee bit further.
Aye, but what was the kind of first time you thought, Craig, that you thought, right, America's an option? Did you get approached with somebody? Was somebody influencing you? Was it always in the back of your mind at some point? No, or just something that came in?
It was a pal of my dad's, his son, Brendan Crozier, his name was. He played out there. And so my dad kind of heard about it through there, and he kind of said to me, and once the idea popped in my head, I thought, I couldn't stop looking at it. And the resources weren't the same to kind of research it back then. You didn't have the same kind of social media and stuff to check, but I was dead excited about that possibility. So it was on my mind for a few years. But it seemed kind of like an idea. You know what you're like at that age? You're not really
don't think you're through,
exactly, you let it go, that's been the idea in my head.
Yourself, Ross?
I was kind of similar. One of my dad's mates, his son had been out and he'd done his 4 years, and out in nowhere they'd offered him the head coach job.
Oofed.
So that boy's dad was obviously ranting and raving about it, So I started looking into it a wee bit, and I think at the time I had just started working an office job. I'd been there about a year or so, and I was thinking, this is pish, man. Again, it was, and you're looking for something else to do with your life. I had thought about applying for Scottish universities, and my dad kept saying, look, you should look at the option of this. Again, it's one of those things, your dad, everybody's dad seems to try to live their football life through them, mate. So it's one of them kind of nudging me towards it.
What was your grades like when you left school, Ross? Were they decent or bit? Were the
university level? Decent. I was quite a young school leaver, just the way the birthdays fell and that. But I think I left with like 5 hires or something.
Oof, decent.
So I wasn't too bad. And then part of our contract at Cowdenbeath was we had to go to the local college and do a qualification. So I had a HNC in business for that as well. So I think when I ended up going into like the scholarship process, I think I transferred in about 30 credits or something, which is about a year's worth.
I remember you saying that.
Uni work, So I managed to skip some of the classes that some of the other boys had to take.
Fair play then, mate. There we go. Would be yourself, Bill?
Similar. Do you know what? I can't remember where I heard it, but it was something like same along the lines with Shug. Like it was something that kind of kept looking into, kept kind of doing a wee bit of research and finding out what I could about it. And it was just I was working at a call centre at the time. I went over, just wanted a new experience, and
that's what it is, isn't it?
Football was good enough to kind of take me there. That was the biggest thing. But I was mainly I just wanted a different experience. So I'm getting bored of Scotland at that point. So
how did you kick on for that? How did you get the ball rolling? Or did you?
So I just applied to went to one of the trials and kept on for it. I only started playing football again about maybe a couple of months before I went for the trial. Thought get a bit of fitness and start playing again. Then went to trials.
So obviously when you've chucked it, then you've.
So I was like thinking kind of want to get back into the football again.
Just give you a wee bit of desire back in it, man. Just give you
that
something to aim for.
motivation. Give
that's
me
what it is,
motivation
mate.
to start playing again,
Aye.
and I just kind of started from there, kicked on from there, and didn't look back on it.
So, how was the process of like basically getting in touch with schools after that, and kind of, well, maybe not as far as it was that? How was the process of kind of, like you say, the trial games, and then is it your agent or the agency your way? How was that process for you in terms of them getting your profile set up and then contacting schools? Like, was it easy enough process for they demanding money for you? Because a lot of times boys go, I could have done this, could have done that, go to America, but it's money, this and whatever. But like, I feel as if it wasn't that for me. I feel as if like boys like ourselves, maybe I've got a bit of pedigree, well, no pedigree as such, but I've played at a decent level that it's maybe an easier pathway. Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
So how was it for you then? So was it like, what was the process?
You go over with the expectation. You don't know what the standards got to be like. A lot of the company, I don't know if I think we all went through First Point, didn't we?
I was.
I remember thinking the standard wasn't great in some of the games I was playing, and it made
the trial matches. First Point.
It made me look class in my videos, which was good.
There you go. Right,
it was a wee bonus, but I remember thinking if this is kind of the standard, even though I hadn't played in a while, I was thinking if I go over and get fit, I can do something. But you just don't know the standard once you get in. You realise once you get out there how good the actual standard truly is.
How was that process for you, Craig?
I know it was good. It was similar. You get a few coaches contacting you, and then I was quite. I think, to be honest with you, see that age I was at, I was kind of working in a tax office as well, and I kind of didn't really have my mind focused on things. And I think I didn't do it. I wasn't proactive enough. So you're getting coaches offering you, and you weren't really that focused on it enough at the time. And so I remember it was quite late in the day that Blair had got in touch with us, and then I just remember thinking to myself, get out and do it, like, after speaking to him, and then that totally screwed my head. And
so was he your first kind of proper serious offer then, was Blair? Did you have any other offers?
I had a few others, but I can't remember. Nothing that I got that far down the line that I was ready to.
Nothing genuine.
But I had a few other offers, but I can't really. I couldn't tell you what there was. Nothing really. I said I wasn't focused on anything, and then obviously late in the day, I kind of made that decision. I was like, I'm definitely going. And after speaking to Blair, I was like, I'll go for it.
What was your first thoughts, Ross, when Blair Reid contacts you? And after he speaks to you as well?
Funnily enough, I was quite far down the line with another school, so
were you?
I was kind of last minute thing where I'd pretty much signed all the forms and that for a school in Indiana, and it kind of came last minute thing. I think it came through First Point. They says, look, he's not sure if his left back's going to be coming back or no, but anyway, he's not sure if the boy's going to stay the full 4 years. It was a decent enough offer, and then the more I looked into it, I started to think I'm probably more suited to this school. You look at the roster and the different nationalities, whereas the team I was going to, it was mainly Americans with a couple of internationals.
Aye.
Blair,
that was a big thing for me, I know.
To be fair to Blair, he talks a good game. He's a good recruiter. He kind of tells you what you want. I'm sure he was emailing me pictures of New York City, telling me it was Des Moines, but that's sending me on his big skyline photos. I'm thinking that must be some city. But
I remember when they first contacted me as well, and you're like, Des Moines, where the fuck's that? You know what I mean? You're like giggling Iowa, and you're seeing fucking cornfields and all that, and then you see the photos of Des Moines, you're like, it's a decent wee city. And to be fair, I did enjoy the time in the city now, like I said. But what was your most reaction when you first heard you were going to America? Or when you first thought you were going to America?
I wasn't happy. Wasn't best pleased. He was starting fights with me. Like, I just leave. Don't come back, kind of thing.
Was that right? Was that right until you met?
Gotcha.
My mum was the same. My mum still holds it against me, man. Honestly, she holds all things against me, to be fair, but she holds that against me quite a lot, to be fair.
I know.
So you've sorted all your deals. You're going to Grandview. talk to your pals you're gone. How is off feeling that day you're travelling out to America? Start with you, Craig, mate. How are you feeling? What was your flight like, actually? Where were you flying for Glasgow?
I was flying Glasgow, Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Des Moines.
Oofed.
So it was a decent flight. Back then they had them really regularly, so I had plenty of space in the flight and all that. But I remember being nervous in the morning, but you were excited as well. And my old man wanted to come over and see it for a couple of days, so he just jumped in the plane with us, which was good. But he came over for about 3 days. We jolly up for him in Des Moines. So that was good.
Jokers.
It was good having him over there. But it was, I feel for my mum, to be honest, because I think my sister was away travelling at that point as well. So when we left her in the morning at the airport, she was in howling grief.
Your dad was fucking lovely. He's right, man.
Straight on the beers in the plane. But the usual, so that was good. That was good that he actually came over with us and just for the trip. But the usual, it was nervous, but you're excited. And I was the same as you. See, as much as I don't know if I'd even Googled Des Moines, I had no clue. I couldn't have pushed the dial.
I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it.
No, but I was quite lucky because a boy from Cumbernauld, Ian Whiteside, he was already out there, and I'd met him a couple of times and asked him the usual questions, and I knew there was a good few Scottish boys, so I was just on board with it. I was just like, see you out there, kind of thing. But
I was the same, Mike. When it came to kind of, I had a couple of options as well. When I think we came to pick the team, I went with Granville because of the Scottish and British boys. I think there was like 15 British boys in the team, and I think any walk of life you're going to do, if you're going to do something or move away, you're going to look something's got to be kind of comfortable for you. Do you know what I mean? And I think if you've got to move to fucking a place you don't really know, and you can tell there's 6 or 7 British boys in the team, it's a massive, massive help. Do you know what I mean? And I'll ask Gallers in a minute, but I remember my first interaction with Gallers and Blair's a landing Des Moines, and then as much as you're kind of like trying to take it on, nervous, but I've looked about, man. You're like, as soon as you land, they're helping me out, man. So I felt that was good. And
I thought you were going to say something else there, Curtis.
Blair was all right. Blair was all right until he dropped me off at your house that night. But what was your first kind of? What was it like when you landed in America, Ross? Who greeted you at the airport?
Blair picked me up at the airport. First thing that got me was the heat. I think I landed at 10 at night in Des Moines. And as soon as you step off the plane, I mean, I'm as white as they come. Like, I'm proper Scottish. I stepped off and I was head to toe sweating within about 2 minutes.
It was roasting, wasn't it, man?
It was the heat and the humidity. I hadn't ever experienced that before. So, it was a bit surreal. But then...
But was Blair like when you first met him?
You came up Blair's like he's really talkative and that. So you're kind of just trying to get a grasp of your surroundings, but then
that's what it is. You're trying to take on it, you man.
Like something like First Point, can they pure advertise it as it's really professional? Can you get put on strict diets and this and that? And the first thing, as soon as you come at the airport, Blair goes to McDonald's and goes, right, what you want?
I know.
And I'm like, I think he's testing me here. And I'm thinking, did I get something? I was like, fuck it, get me a Big Mac meal.
I remember, again, my first night, you, Blair and Johnny greeted me at the airport, and it was the same. Do I go for McDonald's again? I'm thinking, I better know here, man. And I get back, and I'm staying at your boy's house that night, and I meet Bell, and he's like, "Come out tonight." I'm like, "It's for real, man." We're here for half an hour. That's like at McDonald's. But again, I'm like, fucking, I can't come in first.
You're not sure if the coaches put them up there or something.
Exactly.
See what you like,
that's what it is. Just like kind of way I seen it was like you're going to your team and your senior players are asking you kind of questions about to see what kind of guy you like, and that's the kind of mindset I had. But how rag was that, man? You fucking after 3 seasons, man. Honestly, Bill, what was it like when you first arrived?
Same scenario. I had Blair and Al come pick me up, and Al came and all. So it's like you're driving back in the motor, and it's just hard to gauge them at times. You know what I like, and chatting, and then
especially Al, he's quite
don't know how serious they are.
Exactly. That's what I was. You're trying to learn them.
It was good, and then kind of met a few of the boys when I got It was like, I think it was like Mullins and Danny O'Neill and Johnny and that kind of.
Danny O'Neill.
I think they were all the night before, so kind of get that and all, just kind of, is this what basically kind of figure out what it's got to be like, and kind of set the tone for the next few years.
Well, that's again, you just set me up perfectly. That's what I'm talking about. My first night, it was, I don't know who was on it. I think you two were out at East. It was yourself, Johnny, Burnsy. I think Burnsy was just arrived that night as well, didn't he? Big Jordan Burns. And I'm sleeping. I think I was sleeping in Ross's room, Gal's room, and then
what the fuck was that then?
I think you were there. I think you three were out. I think my, I don't know if he's went to strippers or something. I don't know you. I mean, he's away. And then I remember like 3 and 4 in the morning. I mean, he's all came in, bouncing and banging about, whatever. And next day, I'm like, man, these cunts are like, I don't even I must have had a fucking mad one, but it was a fucking Wednesday night, man. Do you know what I mean? I fucking came in at 4 in the morning. Next day.
That's what it would have been.
See, no, I wish I went out, man, because I fucking allowed to be away on Wednesday night, man. But aye, so now you've settled in, whatever, you're going to kind of, I remember again, my kind of first full day, you're kind of getting into the school, you're kind of getting registered, you're enrolling, stuff like that. My first digs was Knudsen, that fucking jail man, the wee prison cell you had, that fucking bunk bed. And Burnsy was a floor beneath me. And you look outside, you see these big fucking fancy L apartments, and what was the other ones they had? I can't remember. But on these Hull apartments and all that. But it was a nice complex, to be fair. But at first you're like, right, decent wee setup. And then you're just kind of focused, I don't know what you were pre-season, getting ready for pre-season. Craig, how was your first pre-season? Did you get a head shave straight away? But
well, see, to be fair, I came out because the time I signed up and because it was a bit late getting the visa and that sorted, I was a wee bit late for pre-season, which you think sounds good because you miss out in the running, but I did feel like a good bit behind when I got there, to be honest, both in terms of like, getting the fitness in and like, see, getting to know all the boys. I get out there and they already felt like they already kind of knew each other. So it was tough for missing the first pre-season and trying to catch up on things, but it was tough. It was tough as well. I remember going straight in and straight into like 2 and 3 a day sessions in that heat. It was so
sunburn, isn't it, man? I saw the boys started opening their t-shirts and all that, t-shirt tans and all that. How was the standard in your team, Craig, when you first went over?
It was good. It was good. With same as you boys, we had a good few British boys, we had a good few internationals, Brazilians, a couple of Bosnians and a couple of American lads that were really good. The standard was good, and the team had been good for a good number of years there when I got there, and it was quite an established team. So it was straight away you were into it, and you knew it was going to be a good standard.
Who was the coaches in your team? I wasn't there, was I? I wasn't there.
No, it was Blair, and it was obviously it was Blair. He's been there since time began. But it was Blair, and it was Ross Moffat.
All right.
And Neil Olsen. So it was good. It was Neil kind of helped us now and again. He wasn't as much. And a guy, Wally, do you know Noel's cousin? Wally. He took the goalies half the time, so he was a good laugh.
Wally?
Wally took the goalies. We got a great laugh.
It sounds like it, man.
That was a setup, mate. But obviously Ross Moffat, you guys know him. Like, he was brilliant to tap into. Like, good player and good for the Scottish side to help me kind of settle in. He kind of looked at it for all years. So, and I felt Blair, he's been there years, but Ross was more. He took more of training.
So
it was good sessions that I put on.
Player, Brian Ross used to in the same team starting out. How was the team there, Ross? It was a standard like when you first started.
Similar to Shug. I think we started the year after Shug finished. So Shug had just finished up when we had started, and like he says, I think, am I right in saying, Shug, you went, apart for the last game to the Nationals, I think you won every game that year, didn't you?
So, oh, fuck's sake, man.
Coming into that, I think they were like 21-1 or something, so they'd obviously, they'd graduated quite a few decent players, obviously, but again, we came into quite an established team, and I was shocked at the standard. Like you say, you go to some of these trial games the first point and you're thinking,
Aye.
And some of these boys are fish, and they surely can't get over. And then you go over and see the standard. Boys like Luis and Johnny and that.
I heard about Louise, man. I've never seen him, but I've always heard the stories for yourself and Bell, and I like to have seen them play. Johnny was different fucking gravy, man. But I like to have seen Louise play. How did you find it, Bell? Was there many internationals to your team? I know Louise was there.
We had a lot, like we had Big Pear as well, centre back.
He was some player.
Big Pear, I met him. Nice big guy.
Big
defender.
I had Big Louise playing. He was different level at times. And
how you get on with the player? And was Al was there when your first year?
We had Blair and Al.
How we used to get on with the terms of get into the team? Because I know I struggled, but how as freshmen got in, how we used to
I think
get on?
The first time me and Brian played, it was kind of like a bounce game at 11 aside, and they only played for about 25 minutes, but someone just clicked that day, and me and Brian were on fire. I mind it was Rizzo and Danny O'Neill were playing down the right hand side against us, and they were fucking raging at us. And I think someday, I think it might be Brian. Brian must have nutmegged one of the boys, and they were fucking fuming. I think it was either O'Neill or Mullins. They nutmegged them. I remember them saying, "You wee bastard, I'm going to fucking." But they obviously, it's just they didn't want shown up by the new boys, did they? So it was kind of. I think that was in the afternoon. I don't know if Brian will remember in the morning. Al must have been away, so Blair was taking the session. He didn't take a lot of sessions, so he set up this wee passing exercise, and it's meant to go up to this boy, back to this boy, up to the next one, and then that's it. It comes back to the start. But the way he'd set it up and the way he was trying to get the wee sequence to go, it could never progress to the end because the players were running to the wrong bits, and it got to the stage where big Danish boy, Big Bear, he went, "Fuck this! I'm not fucking doing this." We'd be standing there, and he just fucked off. He just walked away up to the changing rooms, and everyone was. And that was only about a week into our training, and we were all like,
"Really? Aye."
I don't know if I did that in front of the head coach.
That must have been a shock to the system for American boys, especially seeing something like that. For a European boy, just walked off a session.
Looking, and Per was like, "Nah, this is fucking shit. This is pish. I'm not doing this. Fuck this." And he just kind of just went off. So
I like that, man. So Brian, how did you feel you're going on yourself that first kind of month as the season kind of starting? Were you going all right with Blair and now and that, all right? Or were you?
I started off well, then kind of started getting some. I just struggled with the intensity of it, I think.
Did you?
Getting a few wee niggles, few injuries, then started kind of struggling a wee bit. But I kind of got back there towards the end of the season. But it was a wee bit of struggle my first year. Didn't start as much. Didn't get as much playing as much as I'd like to. But after my first year, I got to grips with it, and then I started. Every game I was fit. I started after. That first year was a bit of a struggle. It's an intense schedule. You're playing 2 games a week, training every day when you're not used to that.
Especially when you end up playing JV football, man. You don't get a day off.
Aye.
That's what I felt like. It was a struggle, like you say. He's like you say, you're proper full time. You're doing it every day. If no training, you've got a game. At least with the boys who are playing varsity, the first team you call it. You get the day off and you get a recovery session. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're like, boy, me was fucking wasn't to get a game on the Saturdays playing the reserves, was going out on the Saturday and on going playing on a Sunday, you're fucked. The rest of the week, man, just up your cycle you're in. So getting down to kind of nitty-gritty stuff, part of your scholarship, university, college, school side of it. Craig, how do you find your kind of first day and your first kind of few weeks getting used to the actual college life in America, mate?
To be fair, I think we were too laid back towards it. We took a piss a bit because you see over there, like I think the professors, teachers are really good with you. They all can understand that you're away with a lot of team. And at first, I think you take the piss with it. You're sleeping in for classes, miss them all the time. And I think we learned as we got on, like to kind of screw the nut a wee bit. We're never struggling with it, but it is tough to see. Joking aside, it is tough to adapt to schedule. You're traveling all the time, and you're out your own. It's not as if you get your mum and dad telling you get to class. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you have to get a wee bit of self-discipline. So I'd probably say, I think everybody's the same. Your first semester, you probably aren't as dedicated to your studies, and then you kind of get your head around it, and you make sure you're doing what you need to do, and I
was the same, mate. my first week, I was dead keen on that. Bought myself all these fucking notepads at a Walmart and all that. Bought big pencil case of pens, whatever. And then just fucking the first day, mate, I had an absolute nuke. But I remember my roommate was a athletics boy, so he had the top bunk, the bottom bunk, and it was my first class was like 7:30 or whatever it was. Kind of the times. It was the first class of the day, and I've just put t-shirt on, brushed my teeth in the communal fucking toilets, man. Just ran through the toilets, washed my face, got quick, brushed my teeth, t-shirt, shorts on, flip-flops on, and I've ran to fucking, I can't remember the name of the building, but it was the Ryan building anyway. I've sat in this boy's first class. I've took his timetable off him. I've sat in his first class. right. But I'm like, because I remember his name was like J.R. Snyder or something like that. I'm like, right. I was thinking of saying this, and there's the register. I'm like, I'm going to say I'm here for JR here. I'm going to go here, but I'm like to myself, what did he say for here in America? Obviously, you went to school here. You went to school here. Do you just say here or yep or whatever? So I just put my hand up, for here JR, right? And then I'm thinking to myself, fuck man, anytime this boy JR comes to his class now, they're going to think I'm the same JR that was here the first day. But then it was a political justice class, whatever it was, and sitting around talking. Then I realised as well, like my accent is fucking strong as it comes, obviously for an American, you can't understand me, so like I couldn't talk. So it was like, no, it's like you get a lot of discussion stuff, participation stuff, and that goes towards your grade as well. But at this point, obviously, I'm just fucking shitting myself to talk to him, day, man. So I've ended up just going for a talk and fucking on to the class, man. And then
the class we kept it going, eh?
I know, mate. I mean, back. I eventually ended up telling him, I was like, mate, I went back to my room, right? I've got my room, and he's noticed straight away, and he just laughed and gave me my schedule. So then I went to fucking my second class, which was like a kind of Bible class, right? Well, I thought it was, but I looked at I don't know, right? I walked in, right, and I've walked out of the right room, and I've sat down. I've only sat in the classes while I used to be London's teams in the same class. I'm like, all right, Morgan, it was like Morgan Buzzell last. I'm like, all right, Morgan, how you doing? And that way he's walked to the class, you know, of course, the rush and all that. And I've just realised I've walked out of the right classroom as well. I'm like, you fucking bastard. And then I'm like, and like, as I walked out the room, like, I waited till she was stopped talking to the teacher. She was talking away, like, in a spiel about the Bible, whatever, right? And I've stopped her. She's like, give a classwork. She's like, excuse me, sir, where are you going? I'm like, this isn't L1, 2, 3, is it? She's like, no. I'm like, fuck, and just walked out after that. I just went home and then go back to my classes after that day. And then after that, I done all right. But then, like, I think I'm trying to talk too much here, but I get caught more in the kind of football side of things, more in the actual class side of things. Because I remember Bill pulling me up one day, yourself, Bill, like, how the fuck you failing 3 classes? Because I remember when it came to nationals, you had to get a certain GPA. So I was falling way below that. I remember a few years through the boys' that's when I first got on. I'm like, Blair, fucking telling boys my fucking GPA for man, what a daft thing, man. Do you know what I mean? But how did you boys go on the first year at school? I'll start with you, Brian. How'd you go on with yourself?
It was going to classes was the trouble.
I
was always all right with like passing tests and all that, but it was like the homework and going to classes was a wee bit of struggle. You're more interested in playing football and going out. You're more interested in going out more than anything. But exactly. I kind of done all my work finals week. I'd accumulate it all and then just bash out everything. I'd stay up for like 3 days straight finals week and just try and do absolutely everything basically. It was just like one of the things you turn up, you're kind of all right. If you can turn up and do a bit of the work, pass a couple of tests, that's half the battle really. But I was always all right. Never failed any classes, which was all right.
Ross, I remember. Ross, I remember the best bit of advice you gave me anyway, I took it in my second year, was just make sure you go to class. Make sure you just go, because that was like the half the battle. Because you get points towards your grade, or marks towards your grade, just for going to class. Do you know what I mean? How'd you go with your first year? All right, aye.
I wasn't too bad actually. I didn't kind of fast started off with easy classes or that. But like I say, I went most of the time until it got to about December, and I just realised it wasn't worth getting out of bed when it was like -10, -15. It's like I was like, nah, I'll say I've got an illness. But no, I wasn't too bad, to be honest. The only thing that I struggled a bit with was I kept telling myself, see when we had like the long bus trips and that for away games, I kept taking all my textbooks and that and saying, I'll do this essay when we're on the bus. And by the time you get on, I mean, people are setting up PlayStations on the bus, and when you've got Football Manager on your laptop, there's no way you're doing an essay.
I know. I was the same, mate. I was the same. I go to the fun stuff now. Craig, what was your first night like in America?
First night out?
Aye, first night out. First night out with the team and the boys.
Long time ago now. I don't remember the first night out, but I remember the first like the homecoming dancing. That's the first thing I remember.
Do you want me
to talk about that now?
Go for it. We'll come back to the little boys later on, but geez that now.
So that was usual have done the same. It was like you had to do, the freshmen had to do like a initiation.
Aye.
At that.
Like,
it was in somebody's back garden, and we had to do like, it was like shots of whiskey, and then you had to do like 5-star jumps, run, do another shot of vodka and do something, and you had to do this in a nappy. And then go to the dance in a nappy. So, truth be told, I just you could wear a shirt in that. You could wear a shirt, so you collar and tie with a nappy on. I can't tell you I remember much about the first night out, but that's the first one I kind of remember. But I just remember you finish that assault course thing, and if you finish last, you have to do it again. So you just rush through it and you spew after it. It's an absolute guarantee you spew. So, but I just remember nights out over there being a lot madder than back here. Because you're tell about it. It's not as if you go to Glasgow and you're worried about getting in somewhere. Over there,
get out of somewhere.
It's your own holiday.
Exactly.
That's what it is, mate. How about you, Bill? What was your first day like? You remember it?
No.
I think the first main one we had was
we had a disco bus thing.
Party bus.
Party bus. Remember that?
And it was. I don't remember a thing from it. We shaved our heads. I think we just finished 3 days in a party bus. We were drinking bottles of Mad Dog. And
Mad Dog, $3 Mad Dog. Can't beat that.
Downtown, and then don't remember getting home. It's one of the ones. You remember what Fake Girls?
No, I only remember it because who was it? Big Sean Travers. Obviously over there you got to be 21 to get in the bars, eh? So I went, fuck, I'm not old enough, I'm not going to get in. So that big American boy goes, oh, I've got 2 IDs. All right, sound. So he gave me this, and I hadn't noticed. See on American IDs, it's got your height and your weight. So the first bar we went to, I'm 5'7". I went up to the bouncer, and he's like, oh, let me see your ID. Handed it here, and he just looked at it and goes, I'll be keeping that. Put it in his pocket. And I was like, what the fuck? He goes, you're no 6'2". Who the fuck are you kidding? So I was kind of like, but we were at Wellman's, which if you came Wellman's, I went round the side and jumped the fence. So I'd still got in. But like Brian says, after that, it was kind of blur. I didn't ken where it ended or what happened, but it was good fun.
I'll not go into too much story about my first night in America because Big Seb's coming on next week. Going to Big Seb on. But
is that when I found you in a cupboard the next day?
Fucking. The start of the night, I remember went to like fucking. I think it was like Wingers, that Nick Wingers' house party or something. And again, this is the first time I've drank, mate. And it's the first time I try to still sound consumed. I was 8 or 8, no drink so far. It's like a month in. I think we only played our first game that day too. I think I scored that. I think we were playing. It was the first game at County, and I think we got beat 2-1. bad scored, so I was kind of buzzing, you know, so I'm like, fuck it, man, I'll keep myself a couple of beers a night. It was me and Seb are kind of palling about because we were two kind of fresh out around with the varsity boys, whatever. And, I've not drank too much at his party, but then you boys are like, oh, I just go downtown, jokers. I'm like, fuck it, we doing? And that way I've had like a 6-pack of fucking Bud Light or something like that. I'm like, right, cool, we're a wee bit buzzed now and get down. And that way I'm like, right, first now I need to try and get a bit of credit with the boys. So I've bought like fucking 10 Sambuca, man. And like, remember me, Carlos? He was with me. I remember. I was like, here, Carlos, we get the boys and I'll get more shot in that. Because I didn't really know any cut stuff. I was still trying to get it on me, whatever. I'm like, 10 shots and fucking all this. And I remember like Carlos kind of going like, fucking, and he's done a run and all these boys. So I'm like standing at the bar myself with all these fucking Sambuca and beers in there, you bastard. So I'm like, just took fucking 5 of them, whatever it was. And then just down wherever I took my beer and went. And then, don't remember what happened the night, and obviously I get funded in the fucking wardrobe the next morning with a fucking where's Wally boxers on and fucking body heat as a photo me like that, and that way you're like that, all the boys are just fucking cut this hair, I'm like, fuck my done. And apparently I was sick with that Shane Darby's motor and all that, and it was fucking, I was winching a lamppost and eating eating leaves off a tree and all that, man, just fucking lost the plot. But so your first year, Craig, how do you think it went on the part after part then? How did the team do first and foremost?
Team done, we won like the conference championship.
Right, decent.
But then after that it was regionals rather than going straight to nationals back then. You had to play a regional tournament. So it was a wee bit different. And then we got beaten there to a team that they were decent, but they shouldn't have beat us. So it kind of ended a wee bit short, to be honest with you.
Aye.
But for me personally, I felt up and down, to be honest, because I was right out for pre-season. I don't think
Were you
I was
playing
fit
much?
enough.
Were you playing much?
I played. Like, whenever I was, if I wasn't fit, if I wasn't injured or suspended, I was playing.
Oh, you suspended a few times, through red cards and stuff?
No, the first one only had 1 suspension, so I got the 5 yellows. Which
right.
I got it. Racked them up quite quickly, to be honest with you. But no, it was up and down, mate. To be honest with you, I thought as if coming out a wee bit late in pre-season, I didn't think my fitness was quite where it should be for that level out there. And it just kept catching up with injuries and just getting used to playing out there, and just, you know what it's like settling in there. So I just felt as if I was a bit up and down first year, but definitely had kind of played a decent bit and felt as if I had a decent standing to go on and like cement the place and do well in the second year and third year.
What about you, Bill?
The first year. And off the field, I felt as if I settled in brilliant, to be honest. Like, classwork wasn't really an issue.
Decent.
And had a great bunch of boys and just felt at home for the first year. So overall, we can't really complain.
Decent, mate. Decent. What about you, Bill?
We kind of injuries in that. Like I didn't play as much as I'd like to in my first year. I think I'm fit. Then just kind of struggle to find my feet. Struggle with different kind of.
Do you struggle with the fitness, Because I thought you were a fucking machine, mate, when I came over. Maybe I was saying the first year you struggled a lot, but I remember by the time your junior year, you were fucking flying, man, anyway.
I worked on it, but no, when I went out, I had a wee beer belly and all that, man. Like a footballer at all, man. So I wasn't really where I should have been with fitness, and that it definitely set me back a wee bit. But I just kind of going on from there. It's like first year was football could have been better, but like everything else, every other aspect of that was brilliant. Like it was had a good laugh. We had a good bunch of boys in the team as well. That was the biggest thing. It was a good laugh. Everyone was on the same page. Everyone loved a night out, which was it was a team thing, and everyone was like, win or lose, you're out having a few drinks, probably a few too many, but that was good. School, it was fine. That wasn't the kind of priority for me, but good.
Like you say, you're going there to have a fucking experience, mate. Do you know what I mean? You're going there to live your life, mate. I don't you regret it, man. Obviously, football-wise, it might hold you back a wee bit, but you made up for it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Years coming ahead. Maybe yourself, gals. I'll ask you, new gals. How was homecoming for you then? The first homecoming dance, first homecoming night.
A bit similar to Shugs, to be honest. It was the whole thing. I think am I right in saying it's a couple of weeks before that? It's the morning that you get your photos taken for the website and all that. That they shave your heads.
Aye.
So we're all kicking about with no hair, shirt and ties on the top half, and then nappies on the bottom half. So
you didn't have your mind for long.
You don't see our homecoming. They gave us a mad dog, and we got cable tied to a partner.
Aye,
that's what happened. I was trying to remember. Aye. So Brian was with one of these American twins, and I was with the other one. The boys were all right, so me and Brian got off not too bad. But they gave us a mad dog, and they're like, right, we're gonna count down, and then the two that finish theirs first get something else. And I think by winning, you got like an extra shot or something. So it's probably detrimental if anything. But I was down in mine. Oh, you cunt, I'm going to win this. I turned around, Brian must have done his in about 5 seconds. So I think Brian was first, I was second, and the two American boys that we were tied to were kind of third and fourth. So that kind of just set the tone for the night. I think by the time they held their one downtown in a big, was it Hy-Vee Hall? Aye. So they bust us all downtown, which was a bit strange because it was just mayhem on the buses. They're like, oh, no alcohol, no this, no that. But obviously it was.
Aye.
We're jumping.
And by the time we got there, we were long gone. I mean, I think at one point I got chucked out by a security guard, and then I kept sneaking back in, and then I got chucked out again, and then one of the other Scottish boys, Roscoe, he'd came out and says, look, I'll distract the boy, and you sneak in. So there's two us steaming drunk. Ross is like jumping the boot trying to distract him, and I've sneaked back in. He's seen me. You got this big fat American boy trying to chase me around as I'm running the boot in a nappy, and everybody's just standing watching. It was just fucking mayhem. But,
oh, fuck's sake, man. Aye. So my homecoming is what you say. To be fair, I actually made the actual homecoming, man. So I to be fair, no, I think I just went downtown straight away. I think I went home, put a pair of jeans on first time. But it was the same like you said. How we had the game that day? I can't remember, did we? I can't remember.
You always say a
home game in it. Aye, so we obviously won. We won like easy. We were fine that season. But when him, I think my hair started growing that day, so I was gelling my hair on for the first time, like 3 months back, because it growing after being shaved off. And then like you say, blazer, shirt, fucking brogues on, a pair and a fucking nappy, man. So you're part up the cable ties, like you say, and it was a mad dog as well. It was like I think it was the last two had to finish their mad dog. The winner got a prize, but the losers got to do like another shot at Sambuca or something like that. And like you say, I was with fucking one of the American boys. Aye, mate, fucking Tyler Rowland. I get Tyler Rowland that.
You still try to finish that?
Fuck you. Aye. And there's a few other boys who like that for a dying man doing it. But then the Tyler who I was with, fair play to him, done us like fucking 10 seconds, mate. But that was him down for the fucking night, man. So I'm cable tied to this cunt. We went up your house, and I'm the fucking house party, and I'm dragging this cunt about. I remember fucking like flinging him on your couch and then getting a wee fucking pair of scissors or something and cutting them off. I'm like, well, back out to fucking Jokers or something like that. But it was a good night, really good. I like the whole kind of way they make occasion about it, the Americans and all that, and how the tradition's always a good night out as well, isn't it? Going on to the second part of this, your first year, so kind of whole off-season stuff. How do you find the kind of gyms and the kind of indoor stuff and all that kind of scenario? No playing for another like 3-4 months. Start with you, Ross, as well. How do you find that? Because I know you weren't really a big fan of it sometimes.
I wasn't something I was too keen on. I mean, playing indoors not the same as playing outdoor.
Aye.
I think to start off with, they tried to run a couple of actual like training sessions inside, and it was just pish. There wasn't enough room. There was too many of us, and it just wasn't working. When me and Brian went, we kept hearing stories about this boy. I can't mind his name, but he was like the strength and conditioning coach. And apparently, he refused to take the men's football team because everybody hated him.
Seth Roberts.
Aye, that's the one. the only team on campus he wouldn't take for the lifting and that was the football team because apparently they were all just getting arseholes to him or something along those lines. So
was that case of the whole team, or is the British boys, you think?
I think it was a bit everything.
Boys, to be honest with you, aye.
Yeah. I remember it was Big Per that told me about him, the big Danish lad. He was saying, "Oh, you'll hate this," because he'd just finished playing in November, December, whenever we played our last game, and he was just saying, "Watch out for the boy because he's a dick." But then we seemed to get off lightly because I think Brian might correct me on this. Was it Al that took it or left it?
Aye.
So I mean, it wasn't bad. It's not something that I typically enjoy, to be honest. But the weather in Des Moines for January, February, March, you're not getting outside really, are you?
Aye, exactly. How do you find it, Craig?
So we had Safe Robertson for it
was it your fault?
Right? I know now everybody goes to the gym, but see back then in Scotland, none of us went to the gym. Do you know what I mean?
No,
if you did, you didn't have any technique.
Nah.
I was honking at the like squats, the bench, the cleans. That technique was all the camp, mate. Never done it in my life. So it's tough to get used to it, but it was 6:30 or 6 o'clock sessions in the morning. If you're a minute late, you had you doing sprints and all that.
In the morning?
Aye, mate. It was.
We got off lightly, got this.
Tea time. Aye.
It was tough, mate. It was, but again, stuff like that is. I think it is quite good to getting your discipline and stuff. But we were kind of similar because Safe Robertson, he didn't really. He was obviously a good strength and conditioning coach, but he didn't really cater it to football. So it was
aye.
You know what I mean? So we were doing the same work as American football. So, but it was good. It was a good variation of what you did, but it was tough, mate. And as you said, see, like indoor football and stuff like that, it kept you going, kept you ticking over. But you want to be outside. See, especially when they see folk like me when Blair says no slide tackles in the gym floor. That's 80% of my game.
I know, it was just weird, man. See, even just like American soccer in general, I always thought it was weird. Like, see, when like you're playing a game, right, and you've got a minute to go, the game would finish when the buzzer goes off. No one actually goes with things like that, and you can make subs whenever you want. So like,
they didn't tell you these things, though, Curtis. I remember our first game. I think it was our first conference game. We were away to Viterbo, and we'd had a shot to start. I think Big Ross squad, fuck it. He'd scored an own goal and gave away a penalty inside 5 minutes, so we were 2-0 down, and it ended up 2-2 after normal time. Now, being a so-called, they call it a conference game, but it's a league game. So there's me thinking, 2-2, fuck's sake, first game we've through with a team that we should be beating. So I'm walking around starting to shake their players' hands. And all their players are like, what the fuck's this boy doing? And then like Blair shouting me over. And I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on? And then obviously it was overtime. I didn't ken that. I had no idea. So it's mad, just,
it's weird, like, I think that's probably the different. That is why it's called soccer earlier, man. That's why it should stay there. Because that is fucking. That's no football. That is soccer.
Mate. We had a similar thing. See, my first year, we went to the semi-finals. We were playing Ashford, and Big Dode, the goalie, gets sent off, and then our centre mid gets sent off. So we're down to 9 men, and then a boy that never played he shouted, "I'm going to kill your family," to the ref. So he gets sent off, right? So we're down to 9 men, right? And we hang on for extra time to 2 each. And we've got a sub keeper in who never played, and he somehow pulls off 3 saves and penalties, right? Goes to sudden death. And we scored and they missed, and I run away celebrating. And the ref's like, no, you play another set of 5. Turns out you weren't meant to. He was just making that up as he went along. You weren't meant to, but we won.
I was going to say, what the fuck? I haven't heard that one. But...
No, mate, I don't think it was the rules of it.
No,
it's just the ref.
Some of the refs.
Fucking hell. It was mad there, man. We move on to another popular topic over America, spring break. Bill, we'll start with you. What was your spring break memories?
Good, mate. Went to PCB, Panama City.
Right, your first year you went there, aye?
Aye, first year we went there. I think it was about 6 of us went, wasn't there?
Aye, we rented that minivan, didn't we?
Aye, Big Pear drove us down, and I'm had minivan thing.
But you just go straight there? Do you stop off there, no?
Mate, he just drove the full way, didn't stop or anything, man.
It was about 18 hours or something, wasn't it?
Man. I think I took a dive for a couple of hours. He kind of took a wee rest, and a couple of us took a wee hour or two, and then but he just charged on basically the full journey.
Who all went?
I think it was me, you, me, Gals, Connor, Pear,
Rizzo was there, and Roscoe.
Or the quiet boys in.
You can only imagine what was going on there.
Crazy, man, aye.
It was just carnage for the word go, basically.
Was it what you thought it'd be, spring break and all that stuff?
It's just it's surreal, man. It's like you don't know what, like you're just. It's no like a lad's holiday here. Got to like.
I was about to ask that.
It's like they're just walking about a beach. Like, do you remember we were telling people we're Spurs players?
These lassies phoning their boyfriends like, I'm with a FIFA soccer player.
I play with you on FIFA. So we're going to be telling people, like, I'm Tom Hiddleston and all that, man. And it was just things like that, man. We're just taking the piss out of everything, man. Just. It was drinking all day and all night. It was some experience. It was a good laugh. It was just funny. You don't remember much yet, but you know you had fun.
That's it.
I see. To be honest, we never really got everybody going away. So it was like, apart from my second year, we all went to Chicago, which was freezing, but it was brilliant. To be fair,
I went there too, mate. Before spring break, brilliant. Aye.
Oh, it was outstanding. We stayed there for a week. Like, went to Chicago Bulls game, like the St. Patrick's Day there, and it was brilliant. To be fair, and then other kind of year, like my family was flying there. My last year, they were coming there. So I thought spring break, my last year, I can't just have a quiet one with the family. Do you know what I mean? As much as I love spending time with the family.
Fucking spring break.
We get the best of both worlds. Rizzo came down with my family. So me, Ryan, and my family went for a week. So during the day, we were at the theme parks out for a nice dinner, and then me and Rizzo were out at night and causing chaos. It was brilliant.
What about you, Ross? Who's your spring break memories? What else you go apart from PCB?
Well, let me think. Me and Brian went to PCB our first. Did we go first, second, and fourth?
I think so, aye.
And then we went to Cancun our third year.
Oh, you went Cancun that year, that's right, aye.
So we kind of ripped the arse out a bit.
Aye, fucking hell, man.
We just went, fuck it. It's the one time of the year we can get away. So
Aye. Fair play, man. Fair play.
You can imagine it was just like Des Moines on steroids, wasn't it?
I was going to go spring break. I remember I was at Sugar, I went to Chicago Bar first spring break day. I went with fucking Paul Ristus, me Andres, and Carlos, because fucking like Seb and Cookie went home. The top of the boys in my year, so like Cookie went up the road. I think a lot of the Americans didn't really do much in the team anyway. I know obviously a lot of Americans do. Rip the arse at spring break too, but out of the boys we hung about with, so it was like Dutch Paul, me Carlos from Mexico, and me Andres from Colombia, man. And I boy from Les, I got to Chicago for a week, but it was class, like you say, like we done the kind of touristy stuff, seeing all the fucking sights, whatever. But it was good to get a night out and all that as well. And again, it was just kind of, it felt like a pure tourist right enough, but it wasn't probably the crazy one that you think that it'd be, but it was good because it was like a kind of last minute thing, like to say, because I think like Seb went with Kenton and Ross Alexander. I think they went to Seattle or something like that.
Aye, they went to West, didn't they?
Aye, they were a pure fucking exhibition, man. And so I was staying with the boys. It was good, you know. Me Carlos was like just wind him up 24/7, and fucking Dutch fucking Paul, man, was fucking wind him up with anything as well. Just takes a wee huff, didn't it? But it was good, like a good experience. But things like that, like before you go to America, you think of the things you're going to meet people from other corners of the world, whatever. End up having a bevy with them and stuff like that too. But on the end of that week, like we say, big set. We met up in your boy's house again. And I think Roscoe had bought back all these chocolate edible bars.
Oh, fuck.
he's brought back all these different flavours. And me and Seb are in the living room. And Seb's I've not ate my dinner, man, right? I think we were playing that day. We obviously won because it was post-season. And Ross is in the shower getting ready for us to go out, whatever, because we're going to go downtown, obviously. And I've seen a chocolate orange one, a white chocolate one, and a chocolate one. I was like, just your normal dairy milk stuff, like stuff for you, man. I'm like, I actually felt quite stuffed after him. And then Seb's like, I don't know, Seb was just cutting about. I think he was trying to go hold a cookie or something, but he's like, how much are you going to get? I was like, oh, freedom. He's like, you're not supposed to do that, mate. I don't think I was like that. Sound makes chocolate bars, do you know what I mean? But I knew there was weed in them, but I was like, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad, do you know what I mean? And Ross came out and he's like, the way Ross gets all serious, he's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I'm like, what? He goes, you've got 3 of them. I was like, he goes, you don't make to take a wee bit of them. I'm like, how? He goes, oh, yeah, you'll be in bits, mate. You'll be in bits. I'm like, nah, I'll be fine, mate. I'll be fine. But obviously, you're only supposed to take a wee slab of them, the wee 3 fucking full bars, man. And then I remember, like, you boys came back. I don't usually use all their time. We're all sitting watching Match of the Day. And I just been all laughing, like, cunts tackling each other. And I remember fucking Tyler Hansel walked in with his bird. I'm like, I feel laughing at myself. Giggles, man. I feel fucking badging. Honestly, man, pure sweating and all that. But I was like, I've kind of came down, man. I'm like, it's all right, but I'm like, the giggles are fucking brilliant. I'll probably do that again, man, to be fair. That way, I'm like, pure. No, like, I'm kind of tired, but like, it was at 10 o'clock. Usually, like, we're going out now, my eye sound down my fucking 4 Loco, whatever it was. Down that, man. And then we're going downtown. I'm like, all right, still I'm a wee bit mad, but I had to like G myself a wee bit. And we went to the fucking, what was it, the Can Alley or something like that, the bottom of the
Beer Can, aye.
Beer Can Alley. And again, we've met all the lassies, like Megan and all that, and Seb, and we've 10 years and I've done the usual boat of Jaegers and all that. And I've had about fucking 5 to myself again, just try to give myself up, mate, and then can't remember a hang at night. Apparently, I was like sick on the dance floor, sick air people. I get Kerry Rathbunchers put in Kelsey Hansen's boot of motor, and I woke up next day and it's pure in a puddle on my way to me. Honestly, I'm like, I didn't even get the arse of it to spring break. I think I've done what a speaking spring break done in one night, mate. Honestly, brutal. But anyway, so. Craig, you're at your second year, mate. How do you feel you were developing? Like, were you missing him or that? Didn't you feel as if you saw a better chance to your second year, like you're saying you missed a pre-season like the first year?
Aye, so second year, I was kind of desperate to get back out and just kick on a wee bit. So ended up, I done pre-season at home, but I got, through a kind of contact, I got into Rangers for the full pre-season. So I was in there training every day. Aye, mainly was there 20s at the time or whatever it was, but it was, I'd done that full time for a month, so I felt as if I'd got a full pre-season under my belt already.
Decent, mate. Aye, decent.
Went out there, mate, as fit as I could, and obviously playing against guys that are in good standard. So went out there kind of feeling a lot sharper second year, and then also it was a more settled team my second year. There was a boy, Trevor Cushman, that played centre back with us, and we just played well together. And I just felt as if my sophomore year was probably my best. I was fit, enjoying it. Aye, just in terms of the team, was a good balance as well. We were doing well on the pitch and just more settled and just knew what to expect. I think everybody's the same. When you get your second year, you're kind of eager to do well. You know what to expect. So I was second year was a lot better. I thought.
How'd the team go in that year then?
We got to the first round of nationals. We got to won our conference and won the conference tournament. So we were decent. We didn't really. The problem was we didn't really have a bit of depth in the squad. It was like the starting 11 was really good, and then maybe 2 or 3 subs, and then after that, we were struggling a bit, to be honest. So that's probably where we came up short. But we were decent with the boy. I think he's on Lyle. Menzies up front, and he was on fire that year for us. He was class for us that year. Chris Scott as well in centre mid.
Chris Scott, good player,
really good player. So and we had Big Dode in goals as well. So it was a good team we had, and but we just came up short. Boy Dawson as well, right mid. It was class.
Good team.
So we had a good teammate, but again we could have went a step further. But overall I thought second year went pretty well.
Did you ever get fun with the Scuddies in JV? No.
What is it? I played with the JV 2 games my first year.
Did you?
And mate, I played centre mid and scored 2 of the worst goals I've ever seen in my life. a big shin roller, mate.
Bell, Ryan, second year, how you get on? Start with you, Bell. You kicked on a wee bit now, were you?
I only played about 5-6 games my second year. I got injured playing against your Bob Shug, Midland, that first game.
That was my tactic, mate.
Your tactic, mate. That pitch with the long grass, man. But I played the first game, mate. I got injured. First game, but I didn't play again until the last few games of the season, kind of leading towards.
Brutal.
Maybe
your red shirt then, no?
Mate. So I struggled second year, just for injury. But then I came back.
Your red shirt, mate, no?
Nah, I played. I just wanted to play, mate. I probably should have. Thinking back, the way the team was in that. But I thought there was a few players coming back. Big Gustavo was coming back for injury about the same time as me.
What a player he was.
He was a quality player, and I was thinking, and then the core of the team was decent. I thought a few of us come back for injury. Kenton was coming back for injury as well.
Aye.
I thought maybe I could have done something, but we had a few players up redshirt that year. We had Johnny redshirt that year, Big McGowan, Martin as well. So we had a bit of a kind of it was a struggle our second year, and it was you feel back. It was like players like Rizzo, that was his last year. He was brilliant, man, like brilliant player. A few other boys, it was our last year. Kind of you wanted to play and kind of push them on. I played those, but it was just coming back from injury. Then I'm no fit, and I was playing like centre mid, attacking mid at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So it was basically Johnny was injured, so it's kind of filling that spot. And then we had no bad wingers as well, so I kind of filtered in attacking mid that year. But it was just, I was a bit disappointed. I probably should have redshirted it. It would have given me a full year, but I just want to play, don't you?
I just want to go with it, you.
You just want to play.
What about you, Ross? How do you like the second year?
I'll correct Bell on that. Our wingers that year were fucking pish because I couldn't get anyone to play in front of me that was half decent. Big Mullins was all right, but he wasn't a winger, and it was kind of a transition year, to be honest. We had a lot of transfers come in. I think we only had probably 2 internationals come in that year. I think it was Big Dave and Andy came in. But it was a lot of transfers. Big Gus came in and started really well straight away, but then boys like Aaron Scott and that, he didn't actually play at his first uni. So he was a wee bit off the pace. Obviously, you ken Scotty, and he obviously came into it very well. But that year, I mean, I did all right personally, but it was kind of up and down. Like Brian says, I think we lost Johnny, McGowan and Barton. They didn't play at all that year, so I mean that's 3 big players right away.
How did the team actually do then? How did you finish up that year?
We scraped the conference championship, and we won the conference tournament. I can't mind who we beat. I think we beat Mount Mercy in the final or something. Was it St Ambrose?
One of the two.
One of the two. It always seemed to be one of the two, and then. We got to first round nationals. I think we played Science and Arts down in Oklahoma and just didn't really turn up. It was frustrating for me because I'd been injured the game before that, I think, and I kept saying to trainers, "Oh, look, there's something not right in my leg," and they kept fucking, stem and ice. That was their thing for everything. They put a bit of ice on it. I ended up going home in December. I got an X-ray when I got home. I had a big crack right across the top of I think it was my fibia.
Jesus.
So that's why I couldn't. That's why I couldn't play, because they're like, "Oh, we'll try this tape thing," and I was like, "Look, I can't put pressure on that foot." I shouldn't even went down to that game at nationals, but I went down. I think I ran once on the training session the night before, and it was like, "Nah, this isn't working." But
where was nationals?
What's that? Sorry.
Where was nationals?
No, we got drawn away in the first round because
I
think we were seeded like. We were quite a low seed, high seed, I should say. So we were doing Science and Arts. They were a decent enough team. They had a lot of British boys, a lot of English boys. But like Brian says, we had a couple of really good boys that year. I think Rizzo carried the team for most of that season, to be honest.
Like David was good. Like
Dave had a good season, and if it wasn't for Big Rizzo, we would have struggled big time.
Connor done well in goals that year,
Connor had a good year as well. Gus was good, but Gus probably better again the next year, wasn't
he? Aye, they were fighting in the next year.
But to be
fair, Louise, have you seen that team?
That's Science and Arts. They were at Stoke City, weren't they?
It was a fucking nightmare. They just had the English boys just launching balls in the box for anywhere on the pitch.
Aye, launching everything, man.
Was Louise on that team, Ross?
No, Louise was just their first year.
Oh, was he? Fuck,
aye.
Right, okay. Aye.
But,
obviously, a lot about him, man. Aye.
So, for the first year, I think we lost, like, Louise, and we lost American lad, George Hunt. He wasn't a great player, but he was like a proper poacher.
George Hunt?
Aye.
I made a few raid by time, fuck's sake.
He was a bit of a strange one. But he was a good player, so we lost him, we lost Per, we lost Louise, so didn't really replace them. But,
rebuilding job.
It was a bit of rebuilding year, if anything.
How are you feeling, Ross, at this point after the second season? And how are you feeling? You feeling established? Do you feel as if you play most of the time?
I think apart from the game, the only game I didn't play, I think, was the first round Nationals game because I was injured. Apart from that, I played just about every minute. But I mean, like I say, it wasn't about the 4 years. It was my least enjoyable. Least enjoyable, I would say. Just because when you're not winning, you're not enjoying it as much, are you? So
of course, mate.
We still, like I say, we still did all right. We won conference and whatnot, but it's not the same when you're not performing as you should be. So,
good at your next season, mate. I come over, Big Seb comes over. A lot of new boys come in, good quality. Number one in America for the season. How do you think that went? Was that probably your most enjoyable season, would you say?
Aye, 100%.
Probably, aye. That was...
the football we played was class.
Aye.
A lot of times. It was... I think, to be honest, our first year, technically, the players were better, I think. But as a team, just the way we played... Just
clicked in it. Just clicked early doors, too.
It was just...
It was a proper team, whereas the first year, Big Luis was like an individual. It's like when he's got the ball, it's like nobody else is getting a touch. But then he's pinging goals in for 35 yards, so you can't really complain. And it's one of them, eh?
Exactly.
I thought just the way we were kind of... Like, there's some of the goals we scored, it was like 20, 30 passes before we put the ball in the net.
It was quite good time.
It was a joy to play, man. It was just kind of playing up top as well, like switching, like kind of alternating between like centre and wide with Johnny and stuff like that, and just like everyone was on the same page. Everyone was kind of switched on and like intelligent players. So it was just
that was Johnny's first year back, wasn't it? He just came back for Bedford, didn't he, Johnny? So it was good. Like you say, you players like Paul that came in that year too, Marcel, and then you've got boys. I don't know, like Big Ryan. I was like, I mean, you come over, you're told that Americans aren't maybe the greatest, but you guys like Brian McGowan and fucking Travis and all that. Remember Travis? Come as a fucking running machine. I remember we done that 2 mile run, and he just got the motor.
He drove 9 hours for Utah or something, hadn't he? The same morning he drove overnight.
Mate, I was fucking having like a pure plan to do breakfast and all that, trying to give myself the best chance, trying to make enough flat on this country, just got a motor and ran it in like fucking 10 minutes. Mate, I'm dying after fucking 12 minutes, man. I'm like, jeez, oh. But that's what I mean. Like you say, I think for me, obviously that was my first year, so I was kind of spoiled my first year in terms of the quality and the team that we had. But I think in terms of even like the camaraderie, like you say, off the park too, was probably the best team I've played in. Even though I was playing, I was on the bench for most of the time. But what I'm getting is, in terms of like being part of it and like even the changing room, like you say yourself, it's probably the same with yourself, Shug, the years you were there. But I think like everybody did feel a part of it, even the boys who were in the GV and all that. And that was obviously my first experience. Everybody was always going to for an Applebee's for something to eat, going for a B-dubs, whatever. Just it was a team. That's the first time I felt like I was part of a full unity of a team.
We kind of lost that a bit the year before, Curtis. As the season went on, it was kind of like there was certain wee groups forming, and they didn't want to do nothing, and it was. So I think by that point, me and Brian and boys like Roscoe and Johnny were kind of the upperclassmen, and we kind of just made a point of saying that. Look, even if it's the boys, even if it's the freshmen that are Americans they'll be lucky to kick a ball for JV, never mind getting the actual starting team. Just try and include everybody.
Aye. Well, that's a fair point, because I remember Johnny, he was like, for the first, not even the first session, I remember the first night I was there, we all played a game on the practice field.
Aye.
It was like a couple of age update joining as well, but it was like older boys in that. I remember Johnny just basically, no saying like out tonight, go for this and that. He like, go and speak to boys, whatever. The way a captain should. Because I think Ross was a bit late coming in that time. But you can see in Johnny, he wanted to make up for kind of lost time that year. He was fit and firing, obviously.
Well, Johnny had redshirted before you came in, but I think that summer he'd played with the Menace.
All right,
so he'd played with the summer team in Des Moines, and he'd done pretty well, I think. So
set him up there, didn't it? Try to think, but the squad was good in that. I can't remember what the record was through conference, but I think we lost a goal, didn't we, in conference?
I think we were like 6-0, and we didn't concede or something that year.
Frightening, goals or something.
Aye. And I remember we won conference, and I actually remember when I first talked to you, Bill. We were talking about I hadn't really probably won it in proper. Fuck it, and you saying you'll win things here and that. I remember we won the conference and that, and personally I didn't feel, you're sitting on the bench and then you're like, you're on the bench and not really part of it as such, but like CKG build that relationship with all the boys in the team, you're happy for the boys as well, and that sounds a bit cliche to say, but CKG, you're living with the boys basically, you're basically living with the boys every day. And you're living the same journey. So see boys like Ross, yourselves, score goals or whatever, and do well or go win. The conference was brilliant. And obviously talk about nights out, that brilliant. But I remember going out that night. We went to, where was it pub? I can't remember the name of it, but it was like just running it. Was it University Avenue or something like that?
Oh, was it the one just down the road for Grandview?
Aye.
I can't mind. I can't know what you're on about.
Aye. But nights like that, like I probably in terms of being steaming, probably one of my car nights. So I remember that it was good to get to enjoy that. But after that, next day we're back in training. You're like going for nationals now. I think we actually hit number 1 for NI. It was before we actually won conference, wasn't it? I think we beat.
I think it was conference championship, was it? No. And then we had to go play the conference tournament.
Was it no? We beat Bellevue in the.
Aye, we beat Bellevue. Aye.
Oh fuck! Aye, because Big Izzy scored.
Big Izzy scored the winner. Aye.
Aye.
Right. Well, I think he scored the kick, came off his shin or something, didn't it?
I think we were talking. Me and Brian and Connor were talking about that the other night. I think that was the smallest pitch in history.
Aye.
Blair and Al were trying to fucking measure it out to see if it was big enough.
Aye. That was a cold shite night that night, wasn't it, man? Nebraska Taylor, it, man. But that was some experience, that team. And then I don't know what you think that team that season got it 5-0 in Nationals. Bit of letdown, I think it is a bit of letdown, but I mean
we were arrogant, but
the big
we thought we got to steal it. I think we went in thinking we got to steal it.
I think we believed their own hype a bit too much. There was
we kind of we went in no in the right mindset, thinking this is your tournament basically, and we got shown up the first game.
See in a way, I think Blair and Al thought that as well. I think obviously they'd try to keep it on us, but Blair would say things and stuff like that and talk about going and winning it, not actually focused on the first game. He'd talk about winning nationals, to win national DNS, to win that. You just take it obviously against a cliche, but you talk about each game as it comes, and obviously because remember the game had to win at County, the fucking part was covered in snow. I think it was Bellevue game we played, wasn't it?
Aye, it was to get in there. Aye,
Kent scored the winner. The games like that, we were a better team, but we struggled. Do you know what I mean?
I think we were 3-2 down with about 10 minutes to go, and we done well to get through that.
Aye. I remember Bell, you scored the equaliser, didn't you, Bell?
I scored the equaliser,
aye. Then Kenton scored the winner, man. Aye. That was some feeling like, again, I was on the bench as usual, but maybe I was on the partner or that celebrating, like things like that were brilliant, man. Do you know what I mean? But I think the worst thing about that again was you felt like shite for like guys like Gus and Johnny who were finished after a 5-0 fucking down. Do you know what I mean? And you're like that, you just felt, I don't know, it was just a bit. I mean, obviously, for guys like myself and Seb, even me and Nick Cook, we were also a bit personal about it. we should get on, whatever. But at the same time, as soon as you see boys sitting down, kind of heating their horns and that, your teammates, your pals, and you're like, fuck, man. And then, especially for guys like Johnny and Gus, who probably did deserve better the work they put in, especially Johnny, do you know what I mean? But I mean, Kenton as well, that was his last game too. But it was what it was. Craig, how was your junior year? How would you go in your junior year?
Our junior year was the worst one, to be honest with you. We had a good team as well, but it just never really clicked to me. It was similar to what you were talking about in previous years, like few injuries and just things not working out. Like brought in boys and it hadn't really worked out for, apart from that class, I can remember kind of big pair came in, obviously a good player, Johnny and Rizzo, good players that came in, but there was a couple of other ones that didn't really see, especially at the back. So he'd played, Per could play there, but we didn't really have a lot of cover at fullback. So it ended up, we kept chopping and changing it, mate. It was me and Kush one week, then it was me at left back, and then I think I ended up finishing the season at right back, and it was like just chopping and changing all the time, and there was no real structure of our team, to be honest. And we played all right in some bells, but we just didn't really click, and we ended up getting beat. I think if it's Turbo in the semi-finals of the conference tournament. Aye, mate, they were decent.
I think they were good back then, weren't they?
Were they?
Aye, they were decent that year, but not to the level. They shouldn't have been beating us, put it that way. And but they beat us, and I just remember similar feeling what you were saying, like Chris Scott and that, Kush, good pals, and you feel as if like,
you let them down a wee bit,
Aye, like I felt I could go after. Like, I always think that I've given all in a game, but you do feel as if as a team you've let them down, and you feel bad that that's their last game. Do you know what I mean? And so junior year on the pitch wasn't great, to be honest, for us.
I was going to say to you, like when we played me, Bell and Ross in training, Blair and I used to always do a kind of starting team against the kind of subs not every day, but twice a week. You probably do it before the next game. So like his starting team's going to be then probably the second guy to the positions. You know what I mean? So like second choice strikers or wingers. Did that when you were there?
My senior year was Al's first year.
Oh, right, okay.
What happened was, so before that, it was kind of a bit over the place. It was like chopping and changing people. But when Al came in and we had a bit bigger squad my senior year, he done that. He would play the first team in the reserve, and then it was a straight swap most of the time. So he went on to something like that. So to be fair, it added a lot of structure to us within the year. I think we needed that year in my juniors to kind of get us on a bit, and Blair needed somebody in full time with him, and that's how they structured it to their own.
Aye. So, see, we are saying you got a wee squad. How many people were in your team then? Because when we were there, was about 40 strong. You're talking at least anyway within a team.
It was probably closer to 30, but just the quality wasn't as good right through the squad. You know what I mean? Like my senior year, I think we had close to kind of a first team and a second 11 who were good. Who like you could get a couple of them come in, you wouldn't notice a difference. So I think before that it was kind of like we probably had a couple of positions we were weak in our starting 11 my junior year. But we were all right, but we didn't have anywhere near the depth I thought we had senior year, and then what you had afterwards, I didn't think anyway.
So how did you finish up that year then?
My senior year?
No, your junior year, sorry.
Oh, junior year, we finished in semi-final of the conference tournament. We got beat a last-minute goal. So it was our last few seconds goal, so it was a sickener, to be honest with you.
That's worse for the boys as well, but last-minute goal as well. And go to your senior year as well, mate. How you were named the captain, weren't you, actually? You were the captain for the last year?
So it was me and Big Dan Martin that were the captains that year. And we came in and we had a much stronger team. The college in Nebraska, I think it was called Dana or something like that, had shut down that year. So we got lucky. So we picked up Big Rico, big centre half, and Lance Barton, centre mid. So we picked up those two who were good at it.
Oh, was it his brother?
His brother. So he was similar. He just had some engine on him. Not a tremendous player, but just midfielder, just covered all the... Done all the running that Luis didn't want to do, to be honest. And then we had Luis came in. It was quality, to be fair. And we had boys like Johnny and Ryan and that starting to come into their own. And Danny O'Neill came in as well. So we had a good starting team, and other boys like Kent and that coming into the squad, Rich Bywott and that. So we had a good squad that year.
Decent, man. It was senior night for you. Did your mum and dad come over in?
Mum and dad came over. That was actually the last game of the regular conference. So it was to win the conference, and we won.
Oh, decent there.
It was quality because we hadn't won it the year before, so we were desperate to win it back, and we won, I think, 4-0 or something against Mount Mercy, who were decent at that time, so we beat them. So it was brilliant, good day for Mum and Dad to be over, and we strolled it as well. So it was brilliant to just win it back and kind of make up for the junior year.
I thought that was one thing that was weird. So when you won the conference, like nobody actually presented you the trophy. But I don't know if you got it, but like I remember Ross just turned up. No, it was a trophy. You're like, hey, there you go. But it was just like,
same when we played the tournament. After runs on, just gives you the trophy. And you're like,
I think it was just like behind the wee desk, behind the scoreboard. You're like, it's a trophy. But I thought it was weird. Ross, Bell, how did you find senior year? A lot of changes that year. I think, but you say the teams get a bit more cliquey. I thought that's maybe kind of what happened. Maybe no your senior year developing, but I think when guys kind of more that kind of way, they weren't really kind of British kind of drinking culture as such. Like boys like your Brunos, your kind of Clarks and stuff like that came into the team. They still came contributed to the squad, and we done well that year. But did you maybe see that was kind of starting to change maybe that year? No, Ross, start with Ross.
A wee bit. To be honest, I think boys like Bruno and Clark and that had a wee bit more to say after we were gone. We had a pretty strong. I'm trying to think who was our
still Ross Alexander. That was still there yourself. I think the core kind of leaders.
3-5-2, wasn't it?
Still there.
We went to 3-5-2. We got another Danish boy out on the wing who was just a flying.
Yeppe.
Sam Blackman was in at that point.
And then we got Salmon from Midland who was class.
Was a player.
Brilliant.
So our senior year, I couldn't tell you what our record was, but I think we only lost a couple of games, if that. But no, it was like I say, it was another enjoyable year. We done pretty well, and we were
good team again.
We won the conference and the conference tournament again, and I'm trying to think who we beat to go down to nationals. First round, I can't mind what they're called. It was a team for Kansas. I think they'd won up on us, and
it was Altoona won it.
It was up on the Astro, and we just I don't know what was happening in that game. We just didn't seem to be clicking that well, and then I think we got a penalty that put us back in it. And as soon as you scored the first goal, you're going to go on and get a winner.
Was it Henderson? Is that right in saying that? They called Henderson or something? McPherson. Aye. How did you find it, Bell, senior year?
I thought we started off brilliant. I thought at those first few games, I thought we were flying. I thought we really had a good chance at it, and then it just became a bit more individual. I thought towards the end, but it was still like there was some cracking players like Aaron Scott that year. I thought he was quality. He just
really good.
He was under pressure to win if Blair. I think Blair put him under P for no reason that year, man.
Blair was with him every year, but he was just a top player. He just controlled
his technique and his quality, mate. Was just, know what I mean? Probably one of the best there, man. His technique.
I think I'm right in saying Scotty got offered. Scotty was on Dunfermline's books before he came out, and he got offered a deal with him, and he turned it down to go out to his first uni. I think it was McKendry. But something happened when he went out. I can't mind what happened, but I didn't think he ever played a game for them. I didn't know if he was ineligible or something.
I'm sure he was. I think that was the story.
And then I think as time went on, I didn't know if he fell out with the coach or something, and ended up moving up to us, which obviously was good for Grandview. But Scotty was a top player, like.
It was a good team. I think like boys like Bruno came in, he wasn't fit in that. I think but once Bruno got himself fit, but he showed big Brazilian man, just bossed up to his fit, do you know what I mean? Brilliant player. But as he got fitter, he got more silkier, more confident. But I think again he got
started counting against them because you've seen how some of us reacted when he started some of his passion. He wasn't passing the ball.
Exactly. But I think that's when he actually was at his best and just done things first. Well, obviously like to have 4 or 5 touches, but we was just doing things instinctively. We was taking things 4 or 5 touches, try to beat the extra man in that kind of typical kind of thing. But when he was some of his free kicks in that, I remember we played a fucking game at Altoona. I think it was a training game at Altoona. And I'm fucking arguing for a free kick. Whatever, just the usual typical, you big bastard, you fucking have it. And then Blair shouted out to me. And Blair's like, Curtis, let Blair take it. Let Bruno take it. I'm like, you fucking fat bastard, you shut your fucking mouth. And I've thought, Bruno's hit the free kick, mate. Barring in there, man. Big man. High five them, that cuddle. No, big man. So Blair. Aye. We went to National, I think it was in Florida. That was Delray Beach, wasn't it? Delray Beach. Aye. That was fucking. What happened after that? Did you know, had to get him early, obviously, that time? Did you fly back to Des Moines or something? Like Blair wasn't happy. In fact,
that was me and Ross. I can't mind. So he had said to us the night, I think Brian might correct me on this because I've got a pish memory. The night we got beat, so we won our first game, and I think we turned around and played another. Was it next again day? Because that's what they did in Nationals. You play one game.
It was in a couple of days anyway.
Aye. So I think we beat Science and Arts 1-0, and the next again game we got pumped 4-1, and we were under strict instructions that night: do not go out. But next thing you can, I mean, all the seniors went out, and then I think did Al come out with us, and Leah the trainer was out with us.
Did some of the boys to go to Miami or something like that?
Aye. Sam and all that got told, didn't go out, whatever you do. If you get caught going out, you are fucked. So I can't mind what the story was with them, but they got a taxi about an hour away to Miami. So they went out there, but we went out. We were steaming before we got back to our room. We got back to the hotel, and I think it was it me, Brian, and Ross went straight to the bar, and they were doing 2-for-1 drinks. We sat at the bar with our fucking our full kit on still, sitting sipping pints there.
Then we had to go for a mad chat with Blair, talk to all the seniors. We had
we were all half cut
at that point. Then pure emotional with Blair.
Was that in Florida?
Aye. Yeah, that talk with all the seniors, and we'd down a few pints, and he was getting emotional with all this. Aye, if you're
you're like, come on, hurry up.
We've got a taxi booked.
I think I was rooming with Ross that trip, so I think we must have got in that night, and at some point between drinking and waking up in the morning, I had a shit ton of air miles to use, so we used my air miles and we booked flights back to Des Moines because we said we're not fucking going 20 hours back in the bus or something.
Aye, it was over a day, wasn't it? Because I remember it was Thanksgiving that we left to drive down to fucking Iowa to Florida, and I remember, like you said, with the fucking FIFA on and all that, was like proper. Left 6 a.m, go there like 9 a.m. the next day.
I think I got 2 full seasons on my Football Manager done in that one trip. Like, I was that fucking long.
Aye. I don't fucking blame he's doing it, man. But I think it was happy. I would have found that out.
He wasn't to start off with, and then he says, Kim, it's no my problem. He says, you'll need to contact the athletic director because we're liable for using you or something. So we had to sit and type a letter saying that we didn't put any responsibility on them if something happens to us or some fish. So we got back in time for, I think it was a baseball team had a party bus or something. So as soon as we landed, we were straight onto a party bus. So it was worth it.
The party buses were lethal, weren't they, man?
Aye.
They were quality, man. But so then on for that, boys, just finishing up, got graduation and whatever. Craig, how was graduation for you? What'd you study, sorry, Craig, anyway? What was your major?
Business. Well, at marketing. So it was good, the graduation day. My mum and dad, they said to me, my senior year, they'd either come out for the senior game or graduation. I was like, come out for the game so you can come watch your football. So graduation was just a piss up, basically. It was a good day. I remember quite a few of the boys, like the families and stuff, was over. So we just had a big night out in Des Moines, mate. It was like a cracking night. So it was
brilliant.
Good day all round.
See, man, I think about Des Moines was something you, by the way. I miss, like, it was a German pub. I've always tell people it was a German pub in Des Moines. What was it?
Essenhaus.
Hestenhouse, oh, what a gaff.
big
man.
fucking
Was that not the
boots.
place?
Oh.
Was that not the place when it was right next to the train tracks?
Aye.
So if a train went by, Jaeger bombs were dead cheap.
Aye.
They had the wee bells or something on the roof, so I think
that?
when the train went by, it used to ring the bells on the roof, and as long as the
Aye.
bells were still ringing, you were getting like half-price Jaeger
Aye.
bombs or something.
Jaeger bombs and all
No,
that.
I loved
God.
Heroes.
Heroes, aye.
But, mate, we
That
used
was
to go
Heroes.
there. We used to
Aye,
go there
we
after every game. Every
Aye.
game, and who was the boy? Chris Rennie walked in there.
Aye,
The
that
goalie
got us in
coach.
trouble a few
Aye.
times.
Mate, he used to just tell you to stick your card behind and he'd take care of it. And fucking, he used to order Jaeger bombs for all the boys that come to the end of the night. It came to $12. You know,
Aye. He'd say that to us, aye, I'll no charge you, but just give me a decent tip.
Aye.
So aye, that was. And then you'd go in on the Sunday morning for your recovery session, and Blair would be saying, so I heard you were drunk last night, and I'm like, no, I was all right. He's like, no, I've got my sources.
Oh,
Mate,
see at times.
That DJ in Heroes absolutely hated me because one night I went in and I asked for Lady Gaga Bad Romance for some reason, right? And he's like, I pestered him and I got everybody up asking. He's like, he wanted to play like hip hop tunes and all that, right? But then he plays it, and we're all going wild. And then every single Saturday I pestered him all night to play it. Worst song ever as well.
The Heroes the one that was like in between Beer Can Alley and Jokers, and it was in the stairs, wasn't it?
Aye, it was on the.
Aye.
If you went up the main stairs, it was opposite Jokers.
Aye.
It changed names that many times when we were there, Curtis. I can't mind what it was called.
Aye. I just see about the time you'd go to like going out next to you train or something. It was always the Friday mornings after the Thursday. The fucking the Dublins and it. It was either Thursday morning or Friday morning, or it was day from if you go out the Wednesday night, you're out for Mickey's Day. But it was where was it? Wellman's the first, Dublin's and Wellman's the Thursday, wasn't it?
Aye, it was that place, Dublin. What was it? You pay $5 to get in, and they give you a cup, and for 9 to 9 to 11 or something, you didn't pay for a drink.
9 to 11, aye.
You just see me.
Oh mate, Mickey's and all, man. It was like 9 till 10, 3 for 1, 10 to 11, 2 for 1, and 11 till 12 was fucking half price shots bars. Oh my!
I'm sure there was one that was like there was a night they done, and it was any coin got you a drink.
Aye, that was that was the one downtown. Was it Mickey's downtown?
I think it was. Aye, something like
fucking that. Mickey's, man. What a place! All Irish pub I've ever gone to.
Aye.
Bell, Ross, how do you find graduation art in? What did you study? Bell, I'll start with you, Bell. What did you study, mate?
I got a degree in applied maths.
Oh,
no idea
sweet.
On that, man.
Shit, man. How was graduation for you? Did your family come over on that?
No, I was exactly same thing. It was come out for watch me play football. I come out to graduation, so it was like a no-brainer, really. So graduation was. It was good. So even though I started with Ross and that, I graduated the semester after. Just because I was trying to mess around, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So I didn't like focus on it in the first couple of years. I didn't have a major basically. So I had to do. I basically I think it was 2 classes left, or one. I think it might be 1 class the next semester, which I had to do. So I didn't graduate till the following year. But same kind of thing. It was just night out, basically. Went for some food and that, and then I can't even tell you what happened.
You would be the same then, Ross, eh?
I forgot Brian had to come back because I think the class that was running didn't run.
It didn't run
for you or something, did it?
So my last class didn't run.
I graduated with Roscoe and Scotty, and that. I think my mum and dad were out for it, but I can't mind what happened.
They were, because we had a few nights out with your parents.
My dad was lovely. He was in fucking the Hestenhouse getting all the boys shots and everything.
I remember your dad was over for senior night. It was Hestenhouse, man. What a place. I miss that, man. I remember your dad that come over. Try to think. Remember Rafa proposed his bird in the senior night of the game? Remember that?
So he did,
Cringy bastard, man.
Aye.
But,
Let's say the better, the better, probably.
I know. But finish up, please. What's your overall feelings, Craig? You glad you done it? You proud you done it?
Oh, brilliant, mate. It's I said what we were talking about before we started. It's amazing how quick time passes since. I mean, that's been 10 years since I was there, and honestly, it's brilliant 4 years. You think back to it all the time. You think carefree, enjoying life, playing football with a good bunch of boys, and getting your uni degree as well. It was a brilliant experience, and a place like Des Moines you'd never have thought to go to.
Exactly.
And it was brilliant, mate. We all had a great experience, I think, for going there. Like, I can't speak highly enough of how good it was.
Like you say, it's like Des Moines, I would never thought you've gone there, but again, it shows you there's a big world out there. And that's another wee place you never go to, and it's a nice wee place. You probably would go back and visit again. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, and the people, like, I didn't cover it. The people are so nice, like the families and all that take you in and stuff, like take you for dinner and stuff like that. Brilliant.
Like. That's it. Every American kind of family I met, like you say, they're all always offering, need it, and let us know. Do I come over for Thanksgiving dinner? Do you want to do this? Even I've still talked to him this day. Boy, Tommy Halligan, I only met him through your goalie Seb, who's his roommate. I still talk to Tommy still talk to him to this day. I went back for his wedding and all that. It just shows you, like, people, they're brilliant people. Obviously, I think people get a bit put off when you hear things about gun violence, whatever, especially now with Trump, kind of stuff like that, shite. But it's a massive place, and you'd obviously recommend it to anybody who can want to do it. Do you know what I mean? Bella, about you, mate?
I was, when I came back here, that was my job for a bit, basically advocating going out to America and doing this, like for a couple of years. So I think it's if you've got the opportunity, I think it is the best thing to do.
Just to go for it.
You grow up a lot, the experience, the football, like everything about it. You come away with a education as well. So I can't speak highly enough of it.
Aye. Maybe you, Ross, mate?
I just kind of same as what Shug and Brian have said. Recommend it to anyone that's looking into it, to be honest. It's basically getting to live like a footballer for 4 years, isn't it? And you get a degree at the end of it. I mean, the amount of maybe no games, but the amount of training and the facilities are better than most places here, out with maybe your kind of top 16s in Scotland. And places like Grandview, they're constantly kind of investing in them. I mean, you look at campus probably today compared to what it was when me and Brian started nearly 10 years ago. It's frightening the changes they've made and the upgrades and that. So it's only going to get better, I think. So,
like you say, I think obviously we spoke a bit about the night suits and stuff like that, and the stories. All that's fine, but that's because we were winning trophies and enjoying the team and it was working. Do you know what I mean? But there is a platform for boys to go out there and develop as a player, but obviously get a degree too. It's not just, obviously, it was a lot of the time it was like fucking stag do, but we did put a graft in. Like Bell says, Bell went over maybe not in the fittest shape, same myself, but you put graft in, you get development yourself, you get fitter, and you get a degree at it as well. Do you know what I mean? You come back fitter, and probably maybe not a better person as I'm still a bastard, but you come back, you still it is a great opportunity, and obviously advocate it for them, wouldn't you? Right, boys. That's us. Sorted.